Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our 5:30 special city council meeting. Could you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing? Oh, we don't have our, yes, remain standing for our statement of values. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we gather, we humbly seek blessings upon this meeting. May we act with strength, courage, and will to perform our obligations and duties to our people with justice to all. Let us seek wisdom so that we may act in the best interest of our people, our neighbors, and our country. All this we ask so we may serve our community with fairness and respect, putting their needs before all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Assistant City Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Mahan. Councilmember Hardy.
Here.
Councilmember O'Neill.
Present.
Councilmember Davis. Here. Councilmember Watanabe. Here. Councilmember Shahal. He actually noted that he would not be in this evening. And Mayor Gilmore.
Here.
Thank you.
We have a request for absence for Councilmember Chahal. Is there a motion to excuse Councilmember Chahal?
So moved.
Second. Motion second. Any discussion? Please register your vote.
Oops, I didn't join the meeting.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
Is that passed unanimously? I think that passes unanimously.
I'd already packed that.
Okay. Have we heard from Vice Mayor Mahan?
No, we have not.
Do we want to
Councilmember.
excuse her and then unexcuse her if she comes? And take it back? What would the council like to do?
Wait and see.
Okay, we can
Yeah.
wait. We can always wait
Let's
till the
kinda
end of the
hold off.
meeting. Okay,
Might be traffic, it might be.
thank you. So we're going to go now to public presentations. If there's any member of the public that would like to speak on anything that's not on the agenda, please come forward. Okay, seeing none. So our first and order of business is the interview and actions on appointments to fill certain vacancies on our city commission. So Assistant City Clerk, would you like to give some information to our applicants that are here in the audience?
Of course, thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. Nora Pimentel, Assistant City Clerk. This evening before you, you will be conducting interviews for 5 different boards and commissions. The first one would be Senior Advisory Commission with 2 vacancies. You'll be filling 1 full term and 1 partial term. The second is the Housing Rehabilitation Loan Committee. Again, 1 full term and 1 partial term. Parks and Recreation Commission is 1 full term. The Cultural Commission is for 1 full term. And the Historic and Landmarks Commission is for 1 full term and 1 partial term. Attached to the staff report was the guidelines, and as it is, it's the guidelines. It is at the mayor and the council's discretion to shorten or lengthen the time for opening statements or closing statements. With that, I conclude my report.
Thank you. So the process is that we are going to go into our staff conference room for the interviews and take each commission one by one.
Correct.
And City Clerk, how are you going to handle when there's multiple members? I know we have a lot of appointments to make this evening.
So this evening, we have 1 applicant who's applied for 2 commissions, so we'll take her up when we take up each of those commissions. So she'll come in for the 1, and then she'll step right back out here and wait in the council chambers, and then we'll call her back in for the next interview.
I think what I meant was when there's multiple members, like for instance, especially the Cultural Commission and the Historical Landmarks Commission, we just going to take them in alphabetical order, or is that
Yes, if
what
they're,
we should do?
we should take them in
Okay.
alphabetical order, and if they're here, if they're not here, I know we have 2 that are running a bit late or behind, so we'll just
Okay.
move through the list.
So, and then what we're going to do is go through all the interviews, and then at the end, we'll come back into the council chambers and make our recommendations for decisions for each of these positions. So at the end, you're welcome to stay all the way until the end, or you can contact the city clerk's office tomorrow, or watch us. are we going to be online, coming back when we come back
We
and
are
reopen the
streaming
meeting?
right now. We'll pause it when we go into the interviews, and we'll stream when we come
We'll
back out.
stream the decisions online, so either way, and of course, you're welcome. And what was I going to say? Oh, when we do go into the other room, we want to make it as comfortable as possible for you. So what we're going to look for is approximately a 2-minute introduction of yourself and who you are and why you wanted to apply for the commission. And then the council members, if they have questions, will ask questions. And then we'd like a 1 minute or so, just closing statement. So we're hoping for a little more back and forth so we can really get to know who you are. But thank you all again for applying for these commissions. I know we have a lot of opportunities, and I'm excited about that. So City Clerk will adjourn now over to the conference room, and we'll see you all over there. Okay, Debbie's ready now, so, okay, we're all ready. All right, thank you all, and thank you for your patience with us. It was a long evening of interviews, and we appreciate everyone's participation. So we're going to start with the interviews and appointments for the 2 vacancies on the Senior Advisory Commission. One vacancy is for a partial term and one is for a full term. And just to remind everyone, the partial term is longer than the full term because you will fulfill a partial term plus you are due 2 full terms. So doesn't sound, sounds the opposite, but the partial term is the longer term. So do I have a motion for, first of all, the partial term for the Senior Advisory Commission?
Yes.
Councilmember Watanabe.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, for the partial term for the Senior Advisory Commission, the council agreed to appoint Helen Narciso for the term ending June 30th, 2021.
Should we, let me ask Assistant City Clerk, should we take both commissioners at the same time? All right, Councilmember Watanabe, could you also do the full term?
Of course.
For the Senior Advisory Commission?
Okay, and then for the full term, the council agreed to appoint Anna Segovia for the full term ending June 30th, 2023.
Okay.
Second.
There's a motion and a second for those 2 vacancies?
Second.
Okay, please register your vote. And that passes unanimously with those council members present. Thank you. Next, we have the Housing Rehabilitation Loan Committee. We have 2 vacancies, but I think we only have a recommendation for one of those vacancies. Councilmember Hardy?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that Tahir J. Naam be appointed to the partial term that ends in on June 30th, 2020.
Second.
So there's a motion and a second for the vacancy for the partial term ending June 30th, 2020. What that means is we're going to have another vacancy on the Housing Rehabilitation Loan Committee that we are going to re-advertise, and that position, if anyone out there was not selected, that position will be available for application and will be coming up soon. So we have a motion and a second for Tahir Naim for the partial term ending June 30th, 2020. Please register your vote. That passes unanimously with those present, and that does leave 1 position vacant for the Housing Rehabilitation Loan Committee. Okay, next we have the Parks and Recreation Commission vacancy. And we have Councilmember Davis.
I would like to appoint Eversley Forte for the position of Parks and Rec Commissioner for a full term ending June 30th, 2023.
Second.
We have a motion and second for Eversley Forte, and I see Mr. Green in the audience. You had an excellent interview. We hope that you will come back and maybe look at some of our other commission openings. One, as I just said, Housing Rehabilitation Loan Committee, and we also have another commission opening that we're going to declare a vacancy tomorrow night on our Library Board of Trustees, which does a lot of events. So hopefully you'll take a look at that as well. So we have a motion and a second for Eversley Forte. Please register your vote. And that passes unanimously with those present. Congratulations, Eversley. All right, next we have a Cultural Commission. We have one vacancy on the Cultural Commission, and I'm going to turn to Councilmember O'Neill.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that the council appoint Teresa Sulzer to the opening on the Cultural Commission.
Second.
So there's a motion and a second for that, and we did have some excellent candidates for the Cultural Commission, and I want to let them know that, again, we'll have a vacancy on the Library Board of Trustees and the Housing Rehabilitation Loan Committee that will come up very soon, as well as next year in June of 2020, we have a host of commissions openings at that time. So for Teresa Sulzer, there's a motion and a second for the full term on the Cultural Commission ending June 30th, 2023. Please register your vote. And that passes unanimously with those present, of those council members present. So next we have two positions open on the Historical and Landmarks Commission. One partial term ending June 30th, 2021, and then a full term ending June 30th, 2023. Councilmember Watanabe?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, the council agreed to appoint Kathleen Romano to the partial term, which will end June 30th, 2021. And for the full-term position, Megan Swartzwelder. She will serve until June 30th, 2023.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second. Oh,
Motion and a second. Remembering the partial term is the longer term on the commission. So we have a motion and a second for Kathleen and Megan. Please register your vote. And that passes unanimously with those present. Congratulations to those of you that were awarded a position. For those that weren't, we do have a lot available, and we're very pleased that we had so many applicants for the positions. I wish we had more. We'd appoint everyone that applied. So thank you all, and thank you all for your patience with us this evening on that. Next, we have adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So, second.
Motion second to adjourn. Please register your vote.
We never argued.
And that passes unanimously. And with that, meeting's adjourned.